Hello everyone, and welcome to the demo of the Willowmist Emporium of Antiques and Curiosities, which is a cozy narrative shop management simulator. And let's just jump right in and try it out. Loving the art.
Very cute little kitty. This way to Willowmist.
Let's go with normal. To my dearest Sprout. Sprout hardly seems like a fitting nickname anymore, does it? By now, you must be towering over your mother. She always was a short little thing. Don't tell her I called her that, okay? I fear it would make our relationship even worse than it is now, if that's even possible. I digress. My dearest Sprout, it has been far too long since I last saw you. Still, I picture in my mind a toddler with a mess of orange hair who insisted on wearing their rain boots on the sunniest of days. Who would remove their smock lest they get paint on it. Who would turn their nose up at chocolate but sneak carrots from the fridge when no one was looking. You always have had your own way of doing things, my dear. That is precisely why I am entrusting you with my greatest treasure, my antique store. Well, for the next 3 months, anyhow. After a lifetime of living in the city, a bit of country air ought to do you well. Willowmist is special to me, and I think soon enough it will be special to you. It has its quirks, which I'm sure you'll realize quickly, but it has a way of growing on you. Or perhaps it's the other way around. Like a parasite or maybe a fungus. Either way, I suspect you'll fit in just fine. I am only sorry I cannot be there to greet you. Responsibilities pull me away from Willowmist. But you don't have to worry about that. I'm sure you'll hear enough rumors about where I've gone to satisfy your curiosity. Trust me, whatever they say will be nowhere near as interesting as the truth. Well, it's usually the other way around, but okay. To find the store, take a left from the train station, then a right when you notice the breeze pick up. Then turn around and walk backwards for 7 steps, close your eyes and turn around again. You'll find it soon enough. Okay. I would say that those were bad instructions. I have an employee there waiting for you. He's not the easiest to get along with, but I doubt anyone could resist your charm. You're much like your aunt in that respect. Take care of the store, Sprout, take care of yourself, and for heaven's sake, don't try to sell the vase with the bird on it. It's cursed. With all my love and faith in you, Aunt Sylvie. P.S. If you find Florian napping on the job, make sure to tuck him in. He doesn't get enough sleep, that boy. Alright. You felt a buzz from your pocket, the familiar sensation of a worried mother. The train continued shuddering along on its track in an almost comfortable way. Darling, won't you reconsider? It's such a big move. You've always lived nearby. You won't know anyone, so if anything goes wrong, why not stay home? You worry too much, you know that? I think we already talked about this, Mom. Like, at least a dozen times, maybe 2 dozen. Actually, I think I lost count around conversation 25. I just don't understand why you left so suddenly. Aunt Sylvie needs someone to watch the shop, you know that. I'm sure she has friends there. She also has family, you know. Won't you reconsider? Sorry, Mom. I love you, but I'm looking forward to a few months away from home. New people, fresh air, and a real job? You've never even worked at a store before, let alone ran one. Aunt Sylvie says someone will be there to help out. It's an antique store in a tiny town in the middle of nowhere. I don't think it will be particularly busy. I swear you got your stubborn streak straight from my sister. Okay, baby, just stay safe, okay? Don't walk about alone at night. Make sure to lock the doors and call me if anything happens. Damn, there goes my plans. Damn it, there goes my plans for bumping into the new love of my life on a dark, mysterious street after leaving my door unlocked. Not funny. Not even a smile? No! Train's about to pull up. I'll text you later. Okay, I love you. Love you too.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Alright, well, I do like the art so far. And I guess that's a fitting name for the song. Music kinda sounds a bit like water, so Mizu, fitting. And I don't know if this is copywritten or not, so that's why I'm going to try to talk over it as much as possible. Otherwise I would just let it play, but yeah. I guess that's supposed to be us? Or no, we were in the... That's us. Is that the one that we're helping? I don't know. Where's that in? I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
Those might just be customers. I'm liking the, manga-esque / anime, I guess, style of the art. Very nice. Very cute. Has a cute town. Very medieval-like.
Which is nice.
I guess we can choose whether we're male or female, maybe? Because those two look very similar. Alright. Ah, yes. Well, I prefer play as male characters, so yeah, Sage works, I guess. Yeah, sure. All aboard. The air was chilly as you stepped out of your train and onto the platform, if you could even call it that. It seemed more like a graveyard than any of the train platforms you'd ever frequented back in the city. No matter the hour, they would be completely packed with people coming and going, rushing for reasons you could never quite understand. For reasons they may never understand either. This platform was completely empty, no one waited to get on, and you were the only person who got off. Where chatter would usually greet you, all that you heard on this quiet platform in the middle of the countryside was the sound of the wind rustling the trees and the chirping of crickets hidden amongst the weeds. Welcome to your new home, Sage. Home sweet home, or something. It really is so quiet. Gathering up your belongings, which you brought only a few of, you quickly found your aunt's letter once again. Left from the train station, then right when the wind picks up. I'm not sure what the weather has to do with it. Well, it's supposed to be a pretty small town. I'm sure I'll find it.
Very cute and picturesque. Definitely very European looking.
Wow. From the way your aunt had described the quaint countryside town of Willowmist, you had expected 2 shacks and a farm, if you were lucky. Instead, upon taking a left when you exited the station, you found yourself in a town center that was significantly more vast than you first imagined. You smiled as you pulled your suitcase up a small flight of stairs, eyes searching around the beautiful facades and rural landscape. Music drifted out from somewhere unseen. It seemed almost like the sound of change, of newfound freedom. A few people passed you as you continued onwards, though for the most part you had the street to yourself. Even that was strangely foreign to you. Where you grew up, there were always people around, no matter the hour. You took a deep breath with your lungs. The air was cool and fresh. The scent of flowers drifted towards you as the wind picked up, changing course. So, right now? You glanced to the right and found a street there that ran away from the town center. What did she write? Turn around and walk backwards for 7 steps, then close your eyes, then turn around again. You could have just sent me the address. With a half chuckle, half sigh, you turned around and began walking backwards, hoping you wouldn't crash into anyone, though the chances of that seemed slim at that time of night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slowly, you closed your eyes, removing sight from the equation, then spun back around and opened them back up. And sitting before you was a quaint little store with green paneling and a sloped roof and a metal sign hanging above the door. It read, "The Willowmist Emporium of Antiques and Curiosities." There you are. I've been looking for you. You're even prettier than my aunt said. You reached down and searched under the doormat and quickly found the key that your aunt left for you. Its brass surface was marked with blemishes that all seemed to say how well loved this building was. The key turned in the lock soundlessly as you pushed the door open. Oh wow. Very nice. Oh, I would love to be in a shop like that. Tables upon tables of antiques and knickknacks greeted you. A dozen different lampshades and chandeliers hung from the ceiling, lighting up the space. Wow. She sure has put together an interesting collection. Is collection the right word? It looks a bit too chaotic for that. Yeah, I mean... And I don't think that you would put your collection, if it had been that, up for sale, now would you? Potted plants dotted the room, bringing a bit of life to the otherwise still space. Carefully, you put your luggage to the side, cautious of knocking over anything and causing what would be the worst game of dominoes ever. And then you walked through the aisles, if they could be called that, and inspected the store. You'd never visited Willowmist before, nor seen any photos of it, yet somehow you felt a strange sense of familiarity. It made you feel at ease despite being far away from your home for the first time in your life. You dropped everything to come here. You quit your casual job, they were hardly giving you hours anyway, only a week ago. You didn't renew your lease. Fortunately, the timing worked out well since it was coming to an end regardless. Friends back home only found out about your temporary move a few days before your train left. Honestly though, you weren't that close to anyone. It always felt like the friends you kept around you had other friends they would have preferred spending time with. That seemed to happen as you got older, the natural drifting apart of people who you once clung to like your life depended on it. You needed a change. So here you were in the middle of the countryside town of Willowmist, surrounded by rolling hills and mountain ranges like you'd never seen before. Hello? Jesus Christ! Who the... Whatever the man was carrying in a box a moment ago was now sprawled out over the floor, dropped in surprise. With mouth agape, he stared at you, still grasping for words. Listen, if you wanted to rob the store, you could have done it before I got here. Common courtesy and all that. Rob the... If I was going to rob a store, it wouldn't be this dump. Hey, my aunt probably put a lot of work into this dump. Wait, forget about that. Why would I be the one robbing the store? I was here first. If anyone was going to be robbing it, it'd be you. I didn't see you when I came in. I was in the storeroom. Can you prove it? Why should I be the one to prove it? You're the one who just waltzed in here. The man sighed the most tired, exasperated sigh you'd ever heard, and the eye bags under his eyes seemed to give away who he was. Alright. You're Florian, aren't you? Unfortunately. And you must be Sage. The last time I checked, yeah. Why are you here so late? It was the only train coming into town today. Didn't my aunt tell you I was coming? The same way she tells me anything. Vaguely. I didn't even know what you looked like. You nearly gave me a heart attack. Then we're even. God, you're exactly like your aunt. Great. I'll take that as a compliment. You shouldn't. What, don't get along with the boss? You make it sound like you're not particularly fond of your boss. It's not like that. She's great and terrible, the nosiest woman I've ever met. Also the best one, but that's beside the point. Did she at least tell you about the living accommodations? Nope, she doesn't really give details, as I'm quickly becoming aware of. No shit. She really just left all this crap to me. I ought to quit, not teach her. But what would I do without you? We don't know each other and we're not friends. You'd be fine. Then how about we be friends? I'm good. You can sleep upstairs, but it's a mess. Sylvie isn't known for her neatness. A mess is fine. I'm sure I'll fit right in. Whatever. Get some sleep, or don't. I'll be working for a bit longer. Do you need some help? From someone who looks like they don't know which side of a mop to hold? Nah. Wow. It's the side with the sponge, right? I'm kidding. It's a joke. I know how to use a mop. You've probably been traveling all day. Just sleep. You almost sound like you care. I don't. I guess Sylvie didn't tell you anything about actually running the store either. Nope. She said you'd teach me. I'm some expert. I just washed the floors. Fine. I'll try to help tomorrow afternoon. Not in the morning? I don't do mornings. Gathering up your luggage, you stared up the staircase. Get some sleep soon, alright? Don't stick around too much longer, alright? Get some sleep. Sure. Without another glance in your direction, Florian collected his dropped box, then went back into the storage room. One step at a time, you dragged your suitcase up the stairs and into your new home for the next 3 months. Not the best first impressions, you know? Your aunt's upstairs apartment felt almost like a continuation of downstairs, like a quilt stitched together with mismatched memories. A half-read book, with reading glasses resting atop the pages, sat on a worn armchair. Tangled yarn as soft as clouds and as bright as spring blooms spilled from a basket. The table was set and waiting for you, expecting your company. It was almost like time was paused here, in a place where vintage clocks softly ticked in unison, mismatched mugs rested in cozy clusters, and the air smelled ever so faintly of lavender and old books. And that wasn't to mention the abundance of potted plants that filled the room. It was as if a forest had crept in and decided to stay. You placed down your bags and grinned like a child who had just found a new secret hiding spot. The weight of the world and all of your previous worries seemed to melt away, even just a little bit. This was going to be a fun 3 months, you could already tell. Unpacking could wait for tomorrow. For now, you unzipped your suitcase and pulled out your pajamas. then got changed and settled into bed. The sheets were crisp and white, the pillows fluffed, and the gentle atmosphere of Willowmist slowly began to help you drift off to sleep. As you lay there, surrounded by the scent of linen not your own, you swore for a moment you could feel someone watching you. But then you fell into a deep sleep, none the wiser. Alright. Curious. Wonder what that was about.
Alright, Tuesday.
When your eyes fluttered open the next morning, a small amount of panic settled in your stomach. This wasn't your apartment. Right, Willowmist. Aunt's place, not back home anymore. That'll probably take a bit of getting used to. I love the little red panda. You looked out the window where you could see sunlight cascading in from between the outstretched arms of trees. It still looked to be early, which was good. You wanted a chance to look around the store before Florian got back. Maybe you'd even be able to impress him. That seemed like a big maybe. You weren't sure, but he seemed like the difficult to impress type of guy. Well, you did like a challenge. You quickly dressed, then raided the kitchen for breakfast, which you found half-stocked with food. Your aunt left some fresh vegetables and fruits, and a few microwavable meals. They'd have to do for now. You'd find the grocery store another day, hopefully. With a pear half-eaten in your hand, you made your way back downstairs. The store had a different vibe during the day. It seemed almost whimsical, like the collection of some peculiar witch who decided a hoard of lampshades was better than herbs. You once again walked between the tables, noting that despite the clutter, everything was dust-free. Florian wasn't lying about cleaning, at the very least. Very nice. Ooh, that's a nice old cash register. Walking up to the counter, you noticed a distinct lack of technology. There was no computer or electronic cash register there, only an old till that seemed to be an antique itself. All of the accounts looked to be handwritten in a journal that sat upright in a bookstand next to it. Either your aunt had a fantastic accountant, or was committing tax fraud. Or maybe both. Still, the lack of anything electronic didn't surprise you. Since you were a child, she always wrote you letters rather than email or text. She was a little old school, but that didn't bother you. If anything, receiving a handwritten letter was exciting to you. You didn't know anyone else growing up who got letters. Except for people getting bills, but no one liked those letters. You understood that greatly now. Standing behind the counter and looking out towards the shop, you felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. This was your aunt's treasure, and she was leaving it to you. Well, for a few months, but that was beside the point. Alongside that sense of purpose was a small yet persistent reminder of just how insane this was. Dropping everything to move to a town you'd never even visited because of an aunt you hadn't seen since childhood? It was exciting. It was the most exciting choice of your life. You needed something like this. A chance to get to know who you really were. It was a knock at the door that pulled you out of your introspection. A very neat, crisp knock. If a knock could be neat and crisp. You could see a tall shadow on the other side of the door, but no details apart from that. Florian? You opened the door wide, curiously peering at the stranger on the other side, who looked you up and down, looked at his watch, then shook his head and walked past you and into the store. Well, I hope you're not about to tell me you're Florian. That will make last night very strange for me. Florian? No, I am not Mr. Westbrook. I apologize if that disappoints. The mystery man put down his briefcase on the counter, then began pulling out paperwork and pens from within it. Not sure I've ever met a man that's actually used a briefcase before. Kinda dig it. I suppose I'll just have to wonder endlessly who exactly you are then. I do appreciate a mystery as much as the next person, but... Right. It would be unlike Miss Marigold to leave you with any kind of instructions. He quickly pulled a business card out of his pocket. Emmett Finch, independent accountant at Finch Advisory. Oh, you know someone's important when their name is part of the business. Maybe we ought to rebrand the store to the Sage Emporium. Emmett, and you must be Sage. I'll admit I have heard very little of you, so we're starting out on equal footing. In short, I am your aunt's financial partner, her accountant, and now, by extension, yours for the time being. We have a lot to discuss regarding accounts, cash flow, and taxes. Such exciting topics for a Tuesday morning. You watched as he pushed up his glasses, then nodded. Any time is the perfect time to talk numbers. I appreciate working with someone like-minded in that regard. I don't think he actually meant that. What experience do you have running a business? I had a lemonade stand once. Oh, plenty. There was one summer where I had a lemonade stand outside my house, though I don't remember paying any taxes on that. Don't tell, alright? Any actual experience? Like with a proper business? Yes. No. Understood. It seems my role will be a little more hands-on than in previous months. I will bill Miss Marigold for the extra time we need to get you up to speed. That sounds expensive. All the good things in life are. Quietly, you watch him shuffle through his paperwork before pulling out one specific sheet of paper. I'll be frank with you, Miss Marigold's accounts are dire. Despite my protests, she makes little effort to remedy that fact. Sometimes I wonder whether she truly desires to own a business or not. Perhaps with you around, we'll see some change. Perhaps we won't. Time will tell. Wow, thanks for the overwhelming support. With you on my side, I know I'm gonna knock it out of the park. I am supporting you. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be here. I am just not in the habit of giving false promises. At the very least, we will aim for Miss Marigold to not return to bankruptcy. Sounds like a plan to me. I stopped by to have you sign a few forms. Though only temporary, I like to keep my affairs in order. Sign here, please. One by one, you signed each and every form Emmett handed to you. And boy, there were a lot of forms. Great, my hand's starting to ache. Stay strong, Sage. You can do this. I wonder what this guy's deal is anyway. He must be a local, right? Maybe this would be a good chance to try to make a friend? While you're here, can I ask you a few questions? Be my guest. I have a little extra time before my next appointment. Is there anything fun to do around town when you're not working? Is there much fun to be had around town? Apart from doing taxes, that is. That depends on what you find fun. If you mean theme parks and musicals, then you're out of luck. If you enjoy hiking, dining, or live music, then there is plenty of that. I'm down to try new things. I wish you all the luck trying them on your own time. Are you a local? Do you live in Willowmist? Yes, my practice is located close to here. You'll find my address on the business card I gave you. Have you always lived here, or have I happened upon another wayward wanderer like myself? I formed my practice here, yes. I mean, you personally, not your practice. I don't see that it makes any difference. Okay, how long have you worked with my aunt? It's been... He digs through his briefcase, nodding as his eyes scan the various documents. A year now, give or take a few weeks. How has it been? Satisfactory. Miss Marigold has had her accounts sorted, and I have been paid, so I believe that counts as a success. And how has she been to work with? Why do you ask? I haven't seen my aunt since I was a child. I was just wondering what she's like these days. She is fine enough to work with, very memorable. That's all I'll say on the matter. Emmett looked down at his watch before setting his eyes on the door. I'll stop by in a few days to go over paying your bills and keeping the lights on. Until then, keep your accounting in the journal at the counter and I will assess it when I return. I'll try my best. Apologies if they're not quite up to standard, but I'll have Florian here to help me, hopefully. Actually, are there any good breakfast places around here? My aunt left a few things, but I'd kill for a nice breakfast while I'm waiting. There's quite a few decent establishments. Well, are you hungry? We could grab a bite and have a mini tour of the town if you were up for it. He said he had other appointments. You killed it, Sage. There's no way he can turn you down now. Emmett adjusted his glasses again, his expression impassive. Unfortunately, I'll have to pass. I am paid for doing accounting, not for eating breakfast and tours. Have a good day, Mr. Marigold. Like that, he gathered his briefcase and walked out the front door, the chiming bells the only reminder he was there in the first place. So cold. Aren't people from the countryside meant to be super welcoming? Meeting Florian, then Emma, seems a little harsh. Huh? He spun back around to the doorway after hearing the bells, but found no one there. Strange. With a shrug, you found yourself turning back toward the store. It would still be a few hours until Florian turned up, so you decided you might as well familiarize yourself with the items around the store while you waited. Yeah, strange with that sound. You were surprised to find that a couple of hours barely scratched the surface when it came to inspecting the show floor. There was just so much stuff. And forget the amount of stuff, absolutely nothing had a price on it. Even digging through the paperwork at the counter, you couldn't find any notes about inventory or pricing. You were massaging your temples in stress when you heard the door chimes ringing again. Hi. Ow, he really doesn't want to get sunburned. I like the getup? Thanks, I don't like the sun. I can see that much. Did you manage to get some sleep? I guess. Are you going to ask me how I slept? If I have to. And if I said you did? How did you sleep? You couldn't sound less interested. Funny that. Well, I'll pretend like you actually care then. Surprisingly, I slept really well. The bed was super comfortable. How fascinating. I'm happy for you, really. With a sigh, you watched Florian drop his satchel bag behind the counter before removing his various mismatched accessories. I don't suppose you worked out how to run the place while I was gone? Do you really think my aunt would make it so easy? She never does. Fine, I'll explain. But I'm only going to do this once. If you don't pay attention, I'm not repeating myself. Even if I say please? I'll ignore you. Pretty please? I'll ignore you even more. We buy things for cheap, then sell them for more. That's pretty much the gist of it. And? And what? That's all you're going to tell me? What else is there to tell you? That's how it works. I know how stores run, Florian. Then why am I bothering to explain it to you? You gotta give me more details than that, or I'll run this place into the ground. Guess I do need this job. Fine. Buy stuff, sell it for more. Also, keep it clean, or no one will want to come in. Right now, we're pretty much out of rubbish to sell, minus a few things I put behind the counter. What? I thought you were going to listen to me. How can we nearly be out of things to sell? There's stuff everywhere. You watched him as he looked around the room, then shrugged. They're just your aunt's decorations. Really? Wow. All of that is decoration? I guess. I don't know. I don't make the rules, I just help out. That's crazy. How does anyone know what's for sale and what's decoration? I don't know. Fine. It's all just for looks. I can deal with that. How much do I sell things for then? Whatever you want to sell them for. How would I know? I'm not an antique salesman. You better become one quick then, if you don't want to go broke. God, what have I gotten myself into? A mess? I wouldn't take on your job if my life depended on it. Just keep track of how much you buy shit for in that journal on the counter. You should be able to eyeball how much things are worth, but you'll get better as you go. Probably. You can probably just adjust the price later if shit's not selling. Doesn't really matter. Let me see what we've got then. Checking behind the counter, you notice a handful of small knickknacks. They weren't much compared to the rest of your aunt's decorations, but they'd have to do. Alright, well, now what? You're the boss. I like the sound of that. Are you gonna call me Boss Sage? If I really have to talk to you, I'll probably just call you Sage. Wow, if you have to talk to me? He just shrugged. Fine, it's probably for the best anyway. You wouldn't want all this power to go to my head. He shrugged again, then found a broom and began to sweep up the already clean floor. There were already a few people hanging around outside, like they were waiting to talk to you or something. You're not a celebrity, are you? That's the last thing I could be bothered with. Not the last time I checked. Last time I checked, my Twitter account had 35 followers, and most of them were bots. Probably not a celebrity then. Probably not now. You walked towards the door, then flipped over the sign to open. Outside, the afternoon sunlight filtered down like liquid gold, hitting the cobblestone just right. The trees swayed gently in the light breeze, and the cool air carried a faint scent of pine and distant baking from a kitchen unseen. You breathed in deeply of that air for a moment, and it felt like an old friend stopping by to visit. Warm, comfortable. Hey, Florian. Florian? Huh? Oh, right. I forgot you were there. Wishful thinking, I guess. I'm going to speak to you so much you won't be able to forget me next time. Great. Have you ever felt like you were being watched around the store, by the way? Watched? You're watching me right now, does that count? No, I mean, well, it does, but not in this case. I mean, watched when no one else is around? Not really. Not any more than is normal, I guess. There's a normal amount of feeling like you're being watched? In this town? Yeah, probably. Huh. I was wondering something, by the way. Did you grow up here? Yeah. Never chose to leave town? Nah. Nothing out there worth seeing. Have you never felt like being stuck in one place is like being in a cage? You paused at that, actually thinking, I guess the cage is pretty comfortable. I think that's why I came here, really. I wanted to help my aunt, of course, but the winds of change pulled me here. It pulls a lot of people here, I think. Really? Yeah, a lot of people who don't fit in anywhere else. Maybe that's why I'm here then. I doubt it. You look like you'd fit in just fine. You're muttering. Don't worry about it. You got family? Other than your aunt, I mean. My mom, but her and my aunt are a little estranged. They haven't spoken in years. I have no clue why. Huh. Usually people can't resist her. Oh, she's popular like that? What? No, I didn't mean... Do you have a crush on my aunt, Florian? No! It's not like that. Really, I meant that she has a pull to her. She's annoying and nosy and probing, but she has a way with people. You can't help but get along with her. You seem a lot like her. That sounds like a pretty big compliment coming from you. What about you, anyway? Does your family live nearby? Maybe. They maybe live nearby? I don't see them anymore. Oh. I'm sorry for prying, then. I pried first. Very true. Your eyes found the doorway where a young girl of perhaps 14 or 15 stood, eyes on you curiously. Hello?
You're not Granny Sylvie. Hi.
I can pretend to be if you'd like.
I guess if I squint, you kind of look like her. Nah, maybe not. The way you stand is different.
I'm Sage. Granny Sylvia is my aunt. I'm just helping to run the place for a while. The girl studied you, crossing the room with a strange litheness to her movements. Standing before you like that, she leaned in close.
Hi, I'm Vienna. Sometimes people call me Vivi. You look very interesting, you know. I like the way your nose joins your face and your eyebrows are cool.
Okay. Well, thanks. I like your eyes. Do you have heterochromia or are those contacts?
They've always been this way, ever since they were.
Ever since they were? Oh, you have heterochromia then.
Hey, you sell things, right? Pretty things, cool things? It's my mom's birthday tomorrow. She likes pretty and cool things. Since she's pretty and cool, can I buy something for her here?
Why don't you have a look around and see if anything catches your eye?
You have eye catchers here? I'll be careful then.
Okay. Just like that, she left you standing there slightly bewildered while Florian had made his way away from the commotion. When his eyes met yours, he gave you a thumbs up and mouthed, "Nice nose." Honestly, I think I am going to stop here. If this looks at all interesting to you, then do check it out on Steam. I definitely agree with the cozy sentiment and description of the game, because it's definitely very cozy, and like I said before, I love the art. Like this shot of the store with all the decorations is lovely. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!